how can I better myself as an animator? How does the Odd Ones Out make his videos so sexy? And what the heck is that? I'll be answering all these questions and more today. I bet you're wondering, who is this loser and why should I listen to him? Well, I've been working for the Odd Ones Out for over 3 years now. You might have seen me make a few cameos in the background of most of his videos. Now, get off! So yeah, see that sexy man in yellow beanie? That's me, RushLight Invader. I do frame-by-frame animations and some merch stuff for one of my best friends in the world.
Aw, that's so sweet.
What? No, James! It's not the part of the video where we answer fans' questions. So can you come back later or?
Huh? What was that? I wasn't listening.
So yeah, I work for that smelly guy, and I also love to animate stories about my life on this channel, from weird teachers to crazy girlfriends and driving my friends insane. So go check out those videos after this because you seem like a pretty cool person, and I'm very desperate, but it'd be cool. But who cares about me? Let's get into breakdown of this music video, Good Person. So the last breakdown video, I talked about how I storyboarded and animated the chorus for Life is Fun, right? This year, James added storyboarders to the team. I animated over their boards and added some of my own spiciness from time to time. Like this one shot where the phone falls to the ground, right? And then he's like, oh yeah, I'm a good person, oh yeah. And originally it was just gonna cut to the door and then him kicking it open. But I added these next extra couple frames and add the door in the background to zoom in onto the door. So it's like, it's in one shot and it's not as jarring and it's like, it's way more easier to follow and way more cooler, in my opinion. Another shot I spiced up was this shot. So this is the storyboards, right? This is the storyboard. So let me play this out first.
Now please excuse me while I go delete my Twitter.
So this is my version of the shot. So it starts off kind of the same. It's like, yeah, please excuse me while I go delete my... This time he spins around, right? He ducks down and his arm gets closer to the camera and gets bigger. Look at that perspective. I love me some sexy perspective. You know how I do. And the camera his hand comes whipping across the camera and it tracks his hand up towards the sky. Then there's some funny meme or whatever, and then he pulls back and then starts throwing it downwards. And then it cuts to the ground and then bam, he throws it. But this is the cool part. Impact frames. I've been loving me some impact frames. I don't know if this is cool looking, but to me it's kind of cool, and I don't know about you guys, but I like it. And then it smashes, and it slowly, like slow-mo. I like the slow-mo. When anything goes, in the video, I liked it when it's slow-mo, so I make it a slow-mo shot. And I'm not shitting on the storyboard. The storyboarders are amazing, like Hexford and Ed and all them. Oh, they're so good. Like, example, look at this shot. This is a beautiful shot. I did nothing to change this whatsoever. Like, I did nothing except for add more in-betweens. Like, this shot was storyboarded perfectly and beautifully. Oh, so good. Maybe if I delete this layer. Can I delete this? Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look, it exactly looks like the same as the storyboard. It's beautiful. And bam, look at that. Ah, so good. Oh, with the slow-mo again. There's a lot of frames right here just for slow-mo frames. Because you have to draw a lot of frames over and over again for slow-mo shots. And that's what I did there. Oh, this is a smear frame right here. Kinda. It's like a little stretch, a little squash, a little smear. Some smears here and there. There's some duplicates. When you flip a coin, there's some duplicates. And then there's a sexy smear right there. Look at that. Ah. And then he has it in his fingers. Oh. The weird thing about James' characters, sometimes he grows fingers when he needs to for like shots and stuff. As well, also, you can see that the lighting on his head always stays like the same most of the time. Like, James likes to have the lighting towards the front of his face and like the shadow on the side of his face. So that's usually where he likes his shadows when you work for James. And so when he moves, changes position, like the shadow changes slightly, like it starts changing to the other side, and then it's like always in front of him. Like the light's always in front of him, except for this shot. So this shot, he's in the closet, right? And the lights come from behind him, so I had to change it up a bit. Oh yeah, this shot was weird. This shot was really weird. So James is like, the line is like, I got an expanding belly, and he just smacks his belly. That was the whole bit. He just smacks his belly. And then there's another bit where he's struggling to put on his shirt, which is only like 3 frames. And so what James was like, can you make his belly jiggle? I'm like, what? Yeah, make his belly jiggle like it's getting bigger. I'm like, I got you, big boy. And same thing with this. He was like, make him struggle more. So I didn't know really what to do. So I just made him start spinning around, struggling. So let's start with this shot. So it's like, I got expanding belly, and I have it like animated on the beat, like boom, boom, boom. Like, let me see if I can make this play.
Got an expanding belly.
Look at that. When he's talking, it goes with the animation.
Got an expanding belly.
Look at that. It's perfect. Like the animation is set up as synced with like the audio that he's singing. And it's beautiful. That is also a smear frame right here. It's a multiple a little bit. I added a little multiple bad boy there. Smacks it, and as it gets really big and jiggles a little bit. And this shot, all right. So I didn't know really how to emulate more struggling to a shirt, because like, who struggles? But I was like, what if I just make him spin? So I make him spin a lot more in this. So here, you're watching the thing. So this arm is a little closer to the camera, right? So I make it thicker. The lines are thicker when it's closer to the camera, because, you know, it's closer. And then it whips across, and he just like pulls it above his head. He crouches down, the anticipation, and then tries to pull his head up, and bam! It stretches a little bit. This is a little stretch. And he squashes, and he's like a little bulgy, and he's all sad. He's like, oh. Alright, so now let's talk about this chair shot, right? So here he is, just spinning around. Some frames look a little weird in there, but it goes by quick. So it's hard.
From a chair to the kitchen.
You don't have to make it perfect. Like, you don't have to make, like, your frames perfect, right? Like, if it's an in-between frame, don't worry too much about it. But if it's like a frame that lingers on for a while, like this, like how he just sad sitting here for a while, you want to make those the nicest drawings that you have. But if it's just an in-between where it looks weird like this, it looks a little wonky, but it doesn't matter. It conveys the motion. That's all you need to do. So let's start off. So he pushes off, right, and his arms are down, like holding his belly, and his face is down, right? And then skip ahead a couple more frames. In the same drawing, the same pose, it's just his face is up more, and his arms are up in the air. Because it's like, it would be boring if he, like, had the same pose over and over again. But if you want to reuse the pose, it just slightly change some elements about it, like maybe the arm positions or the face positions, and it will make it, like, more appealing to look at, right? It's like, whoa. That looks way more cooler, and it doesn't look like you're reusing assets. From a chair to the kitchen. I have to add, I slow down the frames a little bit towards the end here. I add one extra frame, which is this one, because he originally starts off fast and pushes off fast, and then as he gets further away from the camera, and then he's slowing down to get to the fridge, it gets a little bit slower and longer each spin. All right, now check this out. This is a storyboard by Ed, and it's really good. So here's the bubble people. They're like,
and ignore was that today?
So that was really good, right? That was really, like, sexy and everything. Look at the movement and animation. Oh, so beautiful. So, James was like, hey, can you make it so people part of the team? And I'm like, God damn it, James. I'll try to play it.
And ignore was that today?
So I have to, like, every character. This one took me forever because 3 characters moving all at once. They're all shaded. Animating with shadows is the worst. Don't do it. I don't recommend. It would take too long. And so everybody has, like, little motions about them, like secondary motions, like my beanie, Ed's hair, Annie's hair, right? So my beanie bounces up and down, and it whooshes around like it's like behind my head. It's like a secondary motion. Like when my head turns, it takes a while for my beanie to also turn. It takes like an extra frame or two for my beanie to catch up with my body. Same thing with the hair on Annie and everything. And it was beautiful. There's a lot of layers. Look how many layers that is. Ah, look, all these 1s and 2s, and this one definitely took. This took the longest, and it's like one that it's only like less than 2 seconds.
No, was that today?
And guys, I'm not saying I'm not the greatest animator out there. Like, there's a lot I need to learn still about like animation and everything. But this is just my process to stuff. Like this scene, I'm not the proudest of this scene, but it got the job done. It was conveying what it needs to convey.
Pull my foot back inside of my house now.
It's a standard, beautiful animation. I wasn't too crazy or proud of this moment. I'm more proud of like the phone throwing one. Oh, I love crazy movements. If that was just a simple movement, here's another good, nice, simple movement. Very nice. I reused the animation of this cape from another scene where he was dancing on the table, which I'll go back and show. So he bends over, and then the bag jiggles a bit because it's had a secondary motion because it's still like catching up to the body, and it's full of trash, so it jiggles a little bit. You know what I mean? And then right before, like right here, it's not supposed. He doesn't see in the storyboard behind him. He doesn't like throw it. There's like a nice trick that like directors do and stuff a lot, where they're like start throwing in one frame, one shot, and then they'll continue throwing in the next shot There's like a good video about it. It's like every frame of painting is this cool YouTube channel that breaks down like shots, and sometimes like there's this one with like Jackie Chan. It's really good that he breaks down his movements and how he shoots things, which that's like conveys like fight scenes, and that's a good way to keep like the audience not lost in shots. Is just to like repeat like the first couple frames of a repeat. So you should check those out. Every frame of painting. So go check that out if you wanted like more about direction with camera work and stuff. You'll see. All right, this is the last shot, all right? And I also forgot to mention, I reuse a lot of assets, like the glasses, the head shape, the fuzzball, the cape, so don't be afraid to reuse assets if needed. But like the body and the body animation, it's all different, so that's all that needs to be conveyed in these shots. So James is dancing on the desk, just doing his thing, and then a paper swoops by, right? And it gives us the opportunity to like change the pose without making another in between. Like, look at that! It's a big jump. Only thing that really changes is the cape. I make the cape like move down so it matches kinda where the cape goes is the next pose. 'Cause it's still visible behind the paper a little bit, but you guys would never known. The only thing that really changes here is the arms. And then I just reuse the same body shape and head shape, and I just bounce them up and down and squish them. And the face just goes up, and it's like, bam! So there you go. That's all the shots I did. Well, majority of them, I think. I'm not quite sure. I don't remember. But yeah, those are the shots I did for the Odd1sOut Good Person music video. If you guys got any questions about animation, just let me know. I have, like, there's some good videos to check out. I recommend, like my last animation breakdown video, there's a video called The 12 Principles of Animation, where it teaches you like squash and stretch, multiple smears, all those beautiful techniques. Just go watch that video. It's by the boy Alan Becker. He's a sexy man. Go check him out. If you want to see more breakdowns, I have one more on Life is Fun where I storyboarded and animated the chorus for that, which I had more creative freedom. You should go check that out. That's when I go crazy hard on that bad boy. I'm not the greatest animator, but I think I did all right. So let's get some questions with the boy, the Odd1sOut, James himself.
And that is going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Did you drop something?
I just dropped the camera.
That's not good. That was not good.
It is the day before we upload, Saturday.
It is.
And I actually still have some stuff to finish, just to show people how, like, rushed and last minute I do things.
Yeah. So you just suffer. You make yourself suffer. You don't give yourself like a week buffering time till you upload. No, it's the next day. We got to do it now.
Yeah, there's deadlines today.
All right, I got some questions from the fans, James, that people really are dying to know. I don't know if we're gonna keep all these, but there's some good, interesting ones. They asked, did he make you go bald?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure I did. I did like tell you to shave your head.
He said that looked like an oddling, and I was like, I don't wanna. And he's like, it's too late.
That's a funny answer. Every person who works for me has to like wear a specific uniform, which includes shaving their head.
How many hours do you spend on a scene? Does James do furry stuff or send furry related stuff? That's true. And finally, how many licks does it take to get in the center of Tootsie Pop?
First of all, that's 4 questions.
That is 4 questions, but this person really wants to know. They really want to know.
How long does it take to do a scene? It
Yes.
really depends. And also, the thing is that a scene can have one person working on it, or sometimes even 5 people working on it. First of all, every scene has to be boarded out, so that's a person working on it.
Yep.
Then there's an asset artist that, let's say there's a scene that has a bag of chips. I'll be like, hey, asset artist, make this bag of chips. Then scenes you will usually have a background on them too. I've gotten enough backgrounds in my library where if like there's a scene in the kitchen, I'll be like, there's probably a kitchen background that I have somewhere. And if there isn't, if it's a very specific kitchen background, sometimes I will Frankenstein kitchen backgrounds together. So I'll just, reuse parts of backgrounds.
Stuff, yeah.
Exactly. Like sometimes if there's just like a room that's just, just straight on a room, I can decorate that room to be scary and make it look like a classroom. I can, it saves time. But then there's usually for every video, there's about 30 new backgrounds that have to be made, give or take. Like a background especially can cost hundreds of dollars given how
I believe
how much
it.
time it's spent on it. Yeah. I in the VidCon presentation that me and you did, I had this example of this one background that Annie did that took her like 7 hours, which is almost a whole workday, and it was in the video for 4 seconds.
Yep.
and it's tough because you want it to look nice, but you also need to be time sensitive and you need to like weigh what
what
You
matters.
need to
and what
weigh like,
doesn't.
all right, how much, what should I put into as much detail into this background if it's only going to be in the video for 4 seconds? But then what you do is you have that background in your library, and now you can recycle and reuse it. What was the, and then what else? How
Does
does
James
reusing-
do furry stuff and or send furry related stuff? And I said yes, this is true constantly.
What furry related stuff do I send you, Rush? We just send sea lions to or not sea. We send seals to
We
each
send
other.
seals to each other, and that's beautiful. It's great. I love it. And you send floof. You send floof. Don't forget that.
That's furry. That's a very furry animal.
It is a furry animal, but that's pretty much it. Yeah, nothing too
Yeah,
crazy.
but no, I keep all my furry stuff private, man. Like
Yeah,
I don't tell people, like especially on the internet. Like I don't let people on the internet know about my furry site.
Yeah, they don't need to know about that. You still have my seal head at your house, though. I need to come get that.
Oh yeah, Rush. Do you have any animation tips?
Study real life.
Okay.
Like, do out the motion. If you're like animating someone throw a ball, get up and pretend to throw a ball, and be like, "Oh, that's how my body moves." That's a good tip, right?
So it's almost like, you know how when you're drawing anything, like you have references. With animation, you can have references just the same as you can have references with art. So like, yeah, recording yourself throwing a ball, looking at yourself in a mirror, doing actions help. So here's a tip for animation on YouTube. If you hit the bracket keys when a video is paused, it will advance the video by 1 frame, so you can watch YouTube videos frame by frame and see how specifically people do their animations. You can be like, how many in between frames did they have here? How many, like, how did they make this look smooth? And you can like look at things frame by frame on YouTube, just pushing the 2 bracket keys, and you can study that.
I do that all the time with AMVs and anime stuff. I just like watch frame by frame, like Attack on Titan. I'm like, oh my god, how did they do that? How did James approach you working for him, and how did you build a friendship with him over the years?
Who approached who, Rush? I don't remember.
You followed me on Twitter. Noticed you did collabs. I was like, hey, I like your stuff because I watched your stuff. Once you followed me, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this guy's stuff, see what he's about.
3 years ago.
That was 3 to 4 years ago. Yeah, that was 4 years ago probably by now. I worked for you for 3 years. I've known you for 4, I believe. I know. You feel old?
Changed as people, I think. Yeah. Well, how old are you, Rush?
26, almost 27.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when I met, I was your age.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Happy birthday, by the way.
Not my birthday.
So we became Twitter mutuals, and then I remember you made an animation of one of my comics. You know, I should have put that in comic collections. What was I thinking?
I asked you. The line art was stinky, anyways, but it's all right.
It was. I mean, yeah, but you did a fan animation. Yeah, it's crazy. The very first time I got help with the video, it was just coloring in assets because I was like, oh, this is all busy work. I could get someone else to color them in, and that's how it started. And now I have more of a team going on, and that is only to make the quality of the video go up. It still takes just as much time to make a video. It's just having more people can help and punch up the quality.
Yeah.
Right. Right, Rush.
Right, man. Originally, you made me do backgrounds and made me color assets, and I was like, ew, use me to my full advantage. And you're like, fine, here's the animation. I'm like, good, I'm taking it. And I don't do those stuff anymore.
Does that answer the question?
That pretty much does. And we became friends over time because our love for, I don't know, anime. What was your favorite thing you animated for him? And or what's your favorite thing I animated for you, James? My favorite thing was Life is Fun's chorus because that was fun.
Okay. Well, I was going to say my favorite thing that you animated for me, Rush, was the part in the video where everyone was going, "No, was that today?"
Oh, that's pretty
because
good.
It just
happened.
It looked nice. It moved nice, and it was like 3 characters moving at a time, and I'm just like, wow,
that took forever, dude. That was just one shot, and that took forever. That was like a whole week's work or whatever.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't count, but it took forever. I remember that.
No, was that? Yeah, it was 3 bubble people moving, and all the bubble people had clothes and hair.
Yep.
And this is another thing with my style is that since everything is shaded, like the heads, the hair, the clothes, it's all shaded. That just like doubles the amount of work.
Oh yeah.
You have to like animate the people moving, and now you have to animate the shadows, making sure the shadows all work when
Yeah.
going from frame to frame.
And if they like, if the shadows don't match up right, they'll wiggle and it'll look off and weird.
Yeah.
But most people don't pay attention to things that other than faces. So I make sure to try to get the face as correct as possible.
Yep. That's weird. People are looking at our faces right now, Rush.
They are. They're not looking at my like shoulder or something. Yeah. Ever have creative differences with James? And if so, did you navigate that? How did you navigate that? Yeah, we had some creative differences.
Do you remember when we fought about I'm gonna put my foot back inside of my house?
Yeah, it was all through text, and it would look like it was way more intense than it was.
I call I don't know.
We called for
what
that.
Are you talking about it was all through text. We had a call, and I turned on my webcam, and I mimed it out for you, and we were still not on the same page.
We were not. It's terrible.
Yeah, and I was like, Rush, seriously, Rush? I went over this 3 times, and it was.
I cried that day. All right, you feel
Did
good?
you really?
No.
Okay.
I'm just doing
If
it.
you said yes, I would have been like, Rush, what's the mood? Like I would have closed up the camera, been like, Rush, we need to talk. Rush?
You want to hug it out or? No, I was for the bit. It's for the bit.
What's the process of a video? Do we want to go over the whole process right now, Rush?
It's like script writing is number 1.
Yeah, script writing, audio editing, and then storyboarding, and then once it's all storyboarded, then you have to be like, all right, here are the backgrounds we need. Here are the backgrounds that I can reuse, like repurpose. Here are the assets that I need. Here are the sometimes the storyboards will have something and I'll be like, ooh, that's a good animation segment, and I'll give it to Rush and I'll be like, Rush, I want you to animate these segments. And then that's the more time consuming process, is getting it all done. And then once everything is done, then you have to piece it all together. You have to put it all in the video editing software, and then you also need to add in the little bounce frames, make things look nice when it goes from pose to pose, and then there you just put it all together, and then you press export, and then you make a thumbnail as well, and then you hit the upload on YouTube.
You hit upload, you feel happy for a minute, and then you're like, oh, that was the shittiest video I've ever made in my life, and then get on to the next one.
Never watch the video ever again.
Yeah. Someone asked, how much work does James actually do?
Well, I wake up at 9, and then I go to bed at midnight, and a lot of times, especially this week and the pandemic, it's been a lot of work. I'm doing a bunch. Rush, let me think about
how to phrase this.
I can't say. I will say, okay, this is what I'll say. There are a bunch of projects that I'm working on that I legally cannot talk about right now. So that's all I will say.
Do you draw or stuff with videos and stuff as well?
Do I draw for the videos?
Yes.
No, Rush does everything.
I do everything.
Rush does the backgrounds. Rush is like.
I script write it. I voice it.
Of me, yeah.
People say we sound alike, so.
No, but for real, I do a lot of the line art, and then the coloring I have other people do, and I approve of the boards, and a lot of times there's people will do boards, and I go like, this doesn't work. Actually, we need to redo it. And what else do I do? I put it all together, so I'm like, I guess the compositor. You do the TheOdd1sOut bounce frames. I assign stuff out, which actually that takes a long time. When you get the boards and you go like, okay, here's every single background we need. Here's every single asset we need. That takes up a whole day, just even longer than.
Oh, I believe it. It's a lot of frames. There's a lot of frames.
Yeah, making sure people follow deadlines, making sure people are turning stuff in. Also training people. That's another thing. The song Rush.
I love it. Actually, I do like it though. I do like it. It's a bot.
Yeah, I hope people will like it too.
Yeah, people are gonna love it. They're gonna think it's sexy.
Well, thank you for like 3 years of service and doing it for free, Rush.
Yeah, for free. Yeah, exposure. Yeah, you. No, it was great. You pay me monies.
Yeah, obviously. You also do. Never mind. I was gonna say you do merchandise.
I do merchandise, so go check that out too if you want. All right, thank you, James, for coming by. It was a good time.
Thank you for having me, Rush.
Right,
and remember, kids, use your turn signals.
That's not the catchphrase!
I have a story. This was like the best. This is the highlight of my day. So I was standing next to Rush,
and this little kid, he was like, there's an airplane. There's this little kid, he was like 6 or 7. He starts like, because you know how they walk. They're just,
Is that how 7-year-olds
they're just
walk?
strutting over. This little kid, he's like strutting over, and I'm like, oh, he knows.